The kind of universe we have proves the existence of God. You say, oh, how can you say that? It's real simple. The universe that we are living in is a universe that had an origin of time. Scientists call it the Big Bang. Happened around 15 billion years, maybe a little bit less, if we're using Earth time to describe the length of the universe. Since it has a point of time, scientists have a big problem. At least atheists, I should say, have a big problem in disproving God. Because if the universe existed at a point of time, then what caused it to exist? Generally, scientists think hydrogen and helium were the first two elements that began the Big Bang. But where did hydrogen and helium come from? If there was nothing, there was no time, space, or matter, then how could the universe just come out of nothing? No, friend, there has to be something or someone that is beyond time, space, and matter. The universe is basically made up of those three major elements: time, space, and matter. So you have to have a being that is beyond those three elements. It has to be beyond time, and that's the biblical description of God. That God is eternal. He's always existing. We call him the uncreated God. He was never created, because if he was created, then we have a problem. Where did God come from? But God's always been here because he's beyond time. He's eternal. And he's beyond space. That is, he fills the whole universe with himself, but he fills the non-universe, whatever you might call it, with himself. He's everywhere. He's beyond space, and he's beyond matter. You say, what's matter? That the Bible describes God as the invisible God. Now, don't think that invisible means unreal. It just means it's beyond matter. And if God can be seen, and that's what atheists want. I want to be able to see God. No. If you saw God, then he would be matter, and he would be just part of the element of the universe. So God has to be beyond the matter. Has to be beyond solid, liquid, gas. You understand? He has to be beyond that. And that's the biblical description of God, that he's invisible. But it doesn't mean he's unreal. See, for atheists, that's a big problem when they look at the universe with its Big Bang and its origin. Because the Bible describes the universe just like that. The first words of the Bible is, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So the Bible assumes there was a beginning of our creation, a beginning of what we call the universe. And who started the beginning? God. See, that's the only logical explanation that you can have as the origin of the universe. But on top of that, somebody might say, okay, fine, Bishop Brown, okay, you're a Christian, I know you believe that, and I can see how you have to have God. But that doesn't mean you have to have Christianity. Well, that's true. But you have to ask yourself, what kind of universe did God make? He made a universe that is eternally three parts: time, space, and matter, all coexisting together. And so we find threes. First, you find uni, which means one, and in three. So you find one in three. But on top of that, when you look at time, space, and matter, interestingly, all three have threes. Time is made up of past, present, and future. Matter is made up of solid, liquid, gas. Space is made up of height, length, and depth. Isn't that interesting that the very universe we see is made up of three? And the only monotheistic religion that says that God is one universe, but in three, is Christianity. So as you look at the universe, we find first of all, God exists. But then when we look at the universe he made, we find out the kind of God that exists. I hope you got blessed with this word.